I'm taking all your questions about babies and birth and sex. We're talking about sex a lot today. Blip, blip. Let's jump into it. If we don't know each other, I'm Sarah, mom of three and pre and postnatal yoga teacher. And I've had three unmedicated births and helped hundreds of moms around the world have peaceful and empowering birth experiences. So that gives you a little bit of a background as to where this information is coming from. Some of it will lean into like my official trainings, and some of it is just my personal experience as a mom of three and spending a lot of time and helping a lot of other moms. So let's start with sex. That's what people want to talk about. Question number one: how often should you have sex during pregnancy? I say as often as you want. Forget your partner. I'm sorry. Forget your partner. It's about you. Like, your needs are different during pregnancy. And this is probably one of the best pieces of advice my midwife gave me years ago. If you're like, I just like need this right now, can we have a quickie? Like, partner, whoever you are, come on, show up. It's time. Okay. You'll thank me later. Just because I think yeah, you have great needs during pregnancy and you're going through a lot. Okay. Even if, sorry if this sounds gross, you see like something in your belly, like your uterus moving as you're having sex, baby is still very well protected. And your doctor will tell you, like, if you have cervix issues or something and there's any reason you shouldn't be having sex. But, like, generally speaking, for a healthy pregnancy, I wouldn't even be thinking, like, I wouldn't be worried about whether the sex you're having is safe or not. Because as long as you feel safe and it is comfortable and enjoyable for you, I think you're good to go. All right. Someone else asked, safe sex during pregnancy. I always feel too much movement in my belly and I'm worried. You know, it's okay. Don't. If you're really, really worried, ask your doctor. But speaking from experience and everything I've shared before, you're okay. Okay. Let me see if there's any more sex ones before we change the topic. Do, 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 do. Okay, that's it. All right, let's talk about some sibling stuff. I got some questions on siblings. At what age did you start siblings room sharing, and any tips? So we have three and we only have two bedrooms in our home. So we have a kids' room and my husband and I are in this room. And we've done somewhere around like 7 or 8 months old is when the baby moves out of our room and into the siblings' room. And we actually wanted to do a little sooner than that, but we did it for practicality reasons. Like, we were traveling when baby was around 7 months old, and we wanted to come back and give enough time to like adjust back to the schedule before starting something new. Because I think actually we did it as soon as we got back from travel one time, and it was a mess. We were jet lagged, and it was just like a really bad decision. So for us, we get to the point around 6 months old where baby doesn't need to eat overnight, even if baby is waking up overnight, because I've exclusively breastfed all three babies. And even if baby is waking up overnight, instead of me going to them and breastfeeding, my husband goes to them and just helps them go back to sleep. So around that time, like around 6 months old, is when we're like, okay, night feeding is done. And then not long after, 7, 8 months, we move baby to the siblings' room. And again, if they wake up, then my husband goes and soothes them, not me, because they smell me and they know she's got the goods and we're not doing the goods anymore at nighttime. So, in terms of tips for sharing a room, just know that like they will figure themselves out. Honestly, like, we've had plenty of situations where even if one kid or a baby is screaming, the others sleep through it. They are incredible in that way and very resilient. Um, and like, you have plenty of options. Like, I'm just sharing what we've done, but plenty of people do bed sharing, or give the kids each a room and parents sleep in the living room, whatever. One thing that works well for us now is staggering bedtimes. So our youngest goes to bed at 7, the second one is 7:15, and the third one is 7:30, although we let him read for half an hour in the living room. So really 8 o'clock. And that helped a lot, because trying to put them all in at the same time, which we have done in the past, is not recommended. It's just a mess. Okay. Next sibling question. How much harder is three kids compared to two? Not sure if our family is complete yet. Listen, I highly recommend having three kids. If you already have two, if you're if you're like one of my friends, I know plenty of people are like this. They had one and they were like, let's just do one more. And then it was twins. So they went from one to three real quick. I just think I think the hardest transition is going from one to two, because you're all learning to adjust to like shared time, shared attention. And by the time a third comes along, like the what am I saying? The tone, the rhythm, the routine is already established of like, you are not the center of my world anymore, first child. Like there are two, and we've all learned to kind of work with each other. So a third comes in and you're like, welcome to the team. Like, let's go. This is how things work here. And it's like really not that big of a deal. Some logistics are hard for sure. Like I'm just thinking getting my kids out the door in wintertime when they're wearing all the layers, it's another kid to put stuff on. What's the other big one? Yeah, I mean, if your kids are all young, like and you need to buy another car seat or a double stroller, like sure, there might be more expenses. My younger two were two under two for a couple of months. And that's really hard because it's like two very needy children because they're so young and they're not independent yet. So there are hard things about it depending on age separation. But in terms of like the family feel, I think it's like such a lovely thing. And I highly recommend having three kids. Personally, love it. All right, let's talk about milk. Any tips on increasing milk supply? Yeah, it's the whole thing. And actually, I got a similar question. Where is it? How to up my milk supply as a 2 month old mother. I don't think she is 2 months old. I think her baby is 2 months old. Yeah, it's the whole thing of supply and demand. So you have to, now granted, I have never used a pump other than the Haka, and I'm also not working out of the home full time. I'm home full time with my kids. So I have a lot of factors working in my favor. Like I'm with my baby all the time, which of course, there's so many difficult things about that too. But in terms of breastfeeding, it's a lot easier. And hormonally, I've never struggled with milk supply, but I also have always, fed on demand and all of that. So I would highly recommend working with a lactation consultant and understanding your specific situation because I think, for example, if you're home full time with your baby and you're feeding on demand and you're still struggling with milk supply, there's probably something else going on. If you are, out of the home or you have like shared childcare situations, then those are a lot of external factors that could be affecting your milk supply and keeping you from continuing the supply and demand to help your body produce more. Because every time baby nurses, that's a signal to your body to produce more milk. So I would say, and there's a lot of things people do with combining like breastfeeding and pumping. And I mean, this is exhausting, but like the whole triple feeding thing, there's a lot of options, but a lactation consultant can help you figure out what is the best option for you and help you figure out what's going on with your specific body and your specific situation. Okay, last question is about poop. This is a great like conglomeration of topics for today. Tips on constipation and painful poops other than drink more water. Well, it's good that you know that one already because that one is for sure good and helpful. But, if you think about where your poop is coming from it's coming through your rectum, right? Which comes out of your anus. And what's around the anus? Muscles. And so sometimes constipation, especially in pregnancy and even postpartum, these muscles are clenched or tight and they're kind of like closing off the anal sphincter and not allowing poop to come out. After you've had your baby, like that first postpartum poop, a lot of times that's like trauma related, even if you had a great birth, just the fact that like a baby just emerged from you in a pretty small hole. So those muscles could be a little like, what's about to come out now? But if you also have like in pregnancy before you've had your baby and you're dealing with constipation, it could be that your pelvic floor muscles are tight for a variety of reasons. And that's where you need to learn to relax your pelvic floor. And to be honest, most of us need to learn how to relax our pelvic floor. So go watch that video next and let me know what questions you have for the next Ask Me Anything.